Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam. Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Seems like I got a little green hue. I know it's because I'm wearing all black today, very intentionally. Let's see if I can fix that. I think we're right about there. I think we're good. Is that better? A little bit better. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, January 30th, 2023. It is Mental Health Mondays. And for those of you, that are just tuning in, we are going to take a different approach to Mental Health Mondays today. Dr. Brandy is with us every Monday, and we're going to switch roles today. It's been a very interesting weekend. It's been a very interesting couple of years. It's been an interesting weekend on a national level with the video of the brutal murder of Tyree Nichols. We have a teen. It has not been officially released, the age of the teen, but there was a teen killed in Boston last night, another. And so I put up a post that said that we can give attention to the national issues and call out some of what's going on locally as well. And so it's a very interesting place that I'm in. And I just reached out to Dr. Brandy and I said, you take the lead today, and we're going to check in on me as a Black man. And it is not about me, but I'm going to be very transparent about some things because I know that I am not the only one dealing with it. And so Dr. Brandy is going to come in just a couple of minutes at about 9:10 or so. Let's go in the Java Cafe, say good morning, and see who is in the room. Rena, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Aha, intentional self-care moment. Also, Sister Debbie, good morning. Good to see you in the room as well. Good morning to you. Nicole, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Kenya, good morning. Good to see you in the room today. You're on time this morning. Good to see you. Heidi, good morning to you. Thank you. Good to see you. Number 39. Nicole, tell me what that's about. Or are you 39? Jesus. Opal is saying, good morning, Java Jimmy family. I'm in need of prayer. I spent all of my Saturday morning in the hospital, and the medication that the doctor has given me is not agreeing with the other medication, is making me sicker. Also, if anybody can help me with housing issue that has been going on for too long, Opal Thompson will not be bullied out of her home. And so please, and Opal, that is a very interesting topic. And at some point, I'll share with you all some things that's going on with me and housing. And we'll leave that right there for this morning. Mama Java, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. I just didn't want to go past that there. So you all, the Mother's Board and others that believe in the power of prayer, please pray for Sister Opal. Add her to the prayer list. Sharon and Mama. Sharon Cornelius, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Dina, good morning. Good to see you in the room. I see you was getting around this weekend, eating and things that make you eat. Good to see you in the room this morning. Mama Java is praying. Sharon Cornelius is praying as well. Tara, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Tay, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Dr. Drumright, good to see you in the room from Tennessee this morning. Nicole will be 39 on Friday. So happy birthday early. It's on Friday. So Nicole, remind me later on this week. But happy early birthday to you. Misha, good morning. Good to see you in the room. I'm not starting, Dina. I'm going to behave. But thank you guys for the smile this morning. Also wanted to just remind you, we had Michael Gatskin's with us last week. He had some technical difficulties, but we just want to remind you to sign up for the Boston Fire Cadet program. You must be age or between the ages of 18 and 25, live in the city of Boston for a minimum of 3 years, have a high school diploma or equivalent certificate, and have a mass driver's license, and be a U.S. naturalized citizen or permanent resident in a permanent resident status. And you can go to www.boston.gov/career-center. And so we know we have the cadet program with the police department. We also have now the new cadet program that the mayor announced in her State of the City address on last week. Again, Dr. Brandy is coming in with us in just a few minutes. I just wanted to mention to some folks that it is real. The emotions, the outrage, the frustration, the tiredness, the burnout, the pistivity, the pissness, the bewilderment, the why. Still yet, we're also faced with the fact of the equity around attention to national issues, balance with local issues. We're faced with sometimes not knowing everything that's going on in our community to help, from vigils to opinions to information. I just heard the police and they sound very close, so I was just curious if I could see them out there. And so one of the reasons that we're not reactive and we respond often in holding space around this virtually, and also this past Friday, we came together. And let me just explain to some folks what happened on Friday about coming together at the Embrace Memorial happened. At least from what I know, there was one person within the administration that said, hey, we need to do something, not just say something and issue a statement. I text and checked in with the mayor as a friend struggling in 2021 or the end of 20. When we started holding the space, there was something that happened and I was struggling. Should I hold space or not? Should I? And I checked in with her and said, hey, I'm thinking about this. I did that the other day, not the mayor. Said, hey, I'm struggling with this again. Can we just check in? In the meantime, that was going on. Mayor got my text, mentioned it to her admin. The embraces, what it represents around embracing. And so there was a coming together in person on Friday. It was very last minute. And I've heard the feedback around people couldn't get downtown and whatnot. And so I'm just naming that with that also comes, well, I wanted to participate. Wish I could have been there. Why didn't I know? And why didn't they? And that's real for some people. And so just there is a lot. And this is why every week we hold a mental health space, because it is so important to our improved quality of life. We often talk about mental health. It is health. If we're not taking care and being well in our thoughts and in our spirit and what we're dealing with in the non-tangible things, it can become tangible in our bodies. And so it's imperative we keep these conversations up in a very, very proactive manner, being in front of. Heidi is sharing the trauma of watching how Black men can do this to another Black man is horrific. I'll finish the statement for you, Heidi. It is horrific. I do want to also say and name, and I found this out since we last talked, I was very upset in the observation of where it seemed, and it did, that these 5 Black officers were arrested and charged so quickly. When in the past, we've seen months and years of when white officers have done this, and it's taken weeks, months, years to get them arrested and charged. And for me, while I don't agree with it, and Dr. Brandy's on her way in, and I'll finish up real quick. While I don't agree with it, I didn't see a lot of the Blue Lives Matter. I didn't see a lot of what you usually see with the protection. And so it made me have to sit and wonder, that even in the blue movement, and we know this, but as I just looked and observed, I didn't see the blue coming out for these black. I don't agree with it, but it's an observation. Very quickly to update, got a couple of comments on Facebook. Folks reached out and said, hey, this chief has a record of moving very quickly. And so since George Floyd, and I believe she's come in after that. And so she saw the tape. And if you saw her interview with Don Lemon, you saw the black woman come out of her and she was like, this ain't it. And so I just wanted to mention that because I know if I'm wondering, so are others. We're going to bring Dr. Brandy in right now. Dr. Brandy, it is good to see you this morning. Uh-oh.
Hey, James.
How you doing? What you got the AC on, Jesus? What's going on? It wasn't working with you this morning?
Nah. It's actually hot up in here, man.
You got the fan on? Because we could hear it, Jesus.
I don't have no fan on. I promise.
Okay.
So my internet is out again. So I have to log in using my phone. Like literally, my phone is like standing on top of my computer. Like my computer right now is just worthless because you ain't got no internet. So,
how are you?
I'm good. It's just interesting start to the week.
Trust me, I know I had an issue last week with some tech stuff, and so you have that same look that I have. But you know, I told them, Mama Java said Xfinity. Just real quick before we go into this, it's Fios. Okay. Before we go into it, I just wanted to name what Asia said, and I just found this out this morning that the chief in some role, she started that Scorpion unit. And so, that anyway, so I just wanted to name that. But Dr. Brandy, I let folks know that we were kind of switching roles today. And I guess it'll work out with the tech stuff because I'll probably be doing most of the talking. But I just wanted to switch roles because there's some stuff I'm dealing with. And so I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah. So I was thinking, in light of all the events that happened this weekend, that we need to not only check on one another, but specifically check on our black men.
Dr. B, do me a favor. Yeah. Log out and log back in because I want them to be able to hear you. It's there's something with it's like a feedback. Log out and then log back in because we really want to have the okay. Dr. Brandy moves quickly. Let's see what Dina said while Dr. Brandy is coming back. They don't play in Memphis. They have a lot going on in the city with citizen violence and police violence. It does make your eyebrow rise when you see how fast firing and charging happen with the officers that are black. And that is, that was sort of my observation, Dina, that it just bewildered me. And I put that post up on Facebook, and then folks from that area that have been in the same room with her, that have heard her speak and whatnot, attested to the fact that she don't play. And so, that gives a little better context. Let's see if we get Dr. Brandy back. Hey.
Is it better?
Oh, God, it's better, Jesus. All right. Oh, my God. I almost had to turn the volume down. It is better. Technology, Dr. B.
I'm sorry. Y'all got to look. Y'all got to pray for me in 2023 because my technology is...
We're just going to have to set up a consult. That's all. Look at Kenya. Here she go. Where's Donna? Donna usually being here talk about it's janky. But no, go ahead, Dr. Brandy. I'll give it back to you.
But no, I mean, I was really thinking about this morning because I reached out to my brothers, and I sent a text to my father, and a few other just men in my life. Because I love me some black men, and black men have loved on me. And so, and I was thinking about the incidents over the weekend, folks watching the video, and full disclaimer, I have not watched the video. I want to make that very clear. I don't need to watch violence and murder to know that it happened. But I thought what we could do today is instead of kind of our normal back and forth banter, that type of thing, and we might get to that, I'd first just ask you, how you doing?
I am
Did you watch the video?
I did not go after to watch the video. I would say, fortunately, unfortunately, people clipped and put it on social media, and the waste and CNN that I watch a lot, they wound up showing a lot. And so before you realize it, you're seeing imagery that
Mm,
it's kind of you can't unsee until late. And so, and I'll be honest, in this role and on the platform, I struggle protecting my peace and mental health. But then also, do I have a responsibility to watch it in this
mm,
role to be able to engage? And so I saw enough of it to be again pissed, angry. I grabbed the mayor on Friday and a couple of folks. I was hugging Frank Farrell, and I just broke. And at the end of it, I just looked at her and I said, I'm so effing angry.
mm,
And on a few levels, Dr. B, this is another incident of the police killing a black man. And as a black man, to see the energy, to see the hate, to
mm,
see the intent to destruct and hurt this man to us now. And there's no, I don't care if he cussed them. I don't care if he stole. I'm not aware of any justification around to treat this man in an inhumane and even inhumane a dog. We saw what happened to Michael Vick some years ago. A dog or anything does not deserve that treatment. And so I am angry, but I'm also aware of my propensity to go left.
mm,
And so I'm also settled, and I'm also intentional. And sometimes in intentionality, it's slow. Sustainable impact and policy and moving is slow. I tried to put a little, and an activist in me is always going to rise. And so I tried to put a little action up yesterday and just ask people to simply wear black as
mm,
a small, just silent representation. We need to be loud, but people in the other, if I was to think of a word for today, it would be that I'm tired.
mm,
People are tired. And so we've marched, we've protested, we've called out, we've legislated as best we can. Well, no, let me take that back.
mm.
We've done some
I'm about to say what now?
not as best as we can. We've legislated, but as Wes Lowry said on CNN yesterday, even if the full legislation around police reform was in place, if they obeyed everything that's in the current federal legislation, that wouldn't have avoided Tyree being killed.
Mm,
And so, tired, angry, but I broke. I watched the mother's interview on Friday, and I broke because I thought about other mothers. And I'm going to raise this a little bit, not just the mothers of those that get the national attention and that are killed by policemen in horrific, just inhumane manners. I also thought about the mothers locally, so I'm it's a little bit of a roller coaster.
mm,
It is. So I'm cool, but I'm intentionally cool because I'm aware. And so
mm.
all these convos, thank you for the years and convos, and because they've given you and others, they've given skill sets to be aware. Y'all have taught to sit
Mhm.
present. And so I'm
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't watch it. For the same reasons that you watched it, is probably the reasons why I didn't watch it. I I just couldn't see another black man call out for his mother. Just, and again, I always feel like I don't have to witness it to know it and to feel it. And, it was enough to see folks' timeline of anger to let me know that, nah, I can't, not in this space. Can't watch it. It's the same, it's why I tell people all the time, like, if there's a movie about the traumas of the Black experience, I have to be in a certain right frame of mind to go see it. I don't go see it just because folks are like, oh, you gotta go see it, you gotta support. I need to be in the right frame of mind for that, for my sanity. Like, and so I just wonder, James, it's like, is it one of those things where we're good in the moment, or you're good in the moment, but there might be recurrence? You know what I'm saying?
It's that roller coaster.
Yeah, because I mean, you brought up and you elevated George Floyd, Tamir Rice. There's so many. There's just so many, and then even here locally, there's so many, and so it brings up the question of, you touched upon it a little bit, but beyond taking care of our mental health, beyond making sure our folks are good, what we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Again, I'm not talking about individual, the wearing black, your silent individual protests. I'm talking about to dismantle a system, right? And a lot of the conversation that I saw, James, perpetuates the system. Whether you're one of those folks who's like, see, here's another incident, these dang on, that feeds into that. Or you're one of those folks who's like, oh, it wasn't white versus black this time. But that feeds into the system. Because let's not forget Boys in the Hood, that scene, where he stopped by the black officer. Yep. In particular, yep. So that still perpetuates the system. And then you got the other folks who are like, who are all these people talking about it and they don't have nothing to say, and then all these folks are like, oh, this is going to be another incident where folks demand for justice, and these 5 officers may be tried and found guilty, but does it impact the whole system? So I mean, and again, these are the thoughts that go through my mind. Is like, at every single time we're like, this is another incident, another one, and another one, and another one.
That's why one of the hashtags that I use was, there's too many hashtags. Dr. Brandy, I just need to pause for a moment. My god sister, and I'm going to say this right because I heard everybody on Saturday say it wrong, Lucretia Gross, who lost her daughter earlier this month, and the service was on Saturday, and her birthday was yesterday. On Sunday, yesterday. So Beaver, as we called her growing up, Beaver, we just went, mothers, y'all pray for her, and y'all put the hearts and praying hands and stuff up. But please show my god sister some love this morning. And
thank you for being in this space.
Yes, ma'am. Just wanted to acknowledge. And Dr. Brandy, don't let me forget at the end to promote the Good Grief. When you hear and see this Good Grief thing. But
yes, and there's a men's to men's group. I know that Denise Cry is doing tomorrow, I believe, at 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock, yep.
Just a space to for men to just come and talk and heal. Because that's the thing too, is in the aftermath, because you have vicarious trauma. Like I did overhear some conversations this weekend where folks were like, yeah, that reminded me of when X happened. Like, it didn't get to that point, but they were reminded of their own traumas with, police interactions. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm just in a space of like, I am so done talking. Like, I am so done about, like, I'm so done. Like, we got to start really talking about, how do we really start chipping away at the structures, the base, the foundation of this system.
And
Uh,
that is the question, Dr. B. You know, we move in this mental health space, but we also, you know, move you more so you ran for office. I'm in a place now where I'm doing my best to try to inform policy. And I
mhm,
just need to park there for 1 second, because when I say that I'm tired, if you count my time as a peer educator in Bromley Heath Housing Projects, Auntie Maria in the Cave program, where we started with dance, and that was my first exposure to like, wow, we can advocate. And my mother can tell you I've always been persistent around stuff I wanted to get done, from plays in our little building to all that. And when adults come in, I would shut down and be like, I can't do it my way. Um, 40 years, Dr. Brandy,
hmm,
of attempting. I'm 51. So I count my time. That's 40 years. Real impactful, probably the last 15 to 20. And policy is where we have an impact. And some things have been done. But however, there needs to be more. As I said, reporter Wes Laurie, that used to be here in Boston, talked about the fact that even at the federal level, the legislation that we have wouldn't have stopped Tyree from
mm-mm,
being killed. So we got to name that, but that does not negate that we need to go for. When you talk about dismantling systems, it's not just about law enforcement.
mm-mm. No,
It's HUD.
it's
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 everything that
USDA,
is it's everything that is connected
to the quality
to the
of
quality
life.
of life and what keeps folks from thriving and living and just being and existing. So it's all of it. It's the financial to the, housing, to the, the even the physical structures and things like that. Like it's all of it. All of it is interconnected in terms of lives just not having the same value for some. Like that it matters.
And
It
they,
matters. It's what are our systems and how do we perpetuate our systems? How do we feed into our systems? And that's the thing, is when you're talking about systems, right? We can do things at an individual level. And there've been some great work done at a community level, at a local level, but the one thing you will hear anybody say, historians or anybody else, is they'll say, we get to a certain point and then we hit a ceiling, we hit something where we just cannot break through. So we'll, like there'll be X number of people that'll become homeowners, X number of people, but the overall percentage won't
it's
change.
still
We'll still only have $8 to the
because the
250,000.
others are still progressing at the same
Exactly.
rate. And
Because the levels in which we progress, see, it's like it's what I was reading something, it was about a couple of weeks ago, and they said, when those who've been oppressed start to gain, the line is moved further and further away,
because the
right?
others are still
Yes.
waiting.
So it's like, it's this idea of, oh, well, at one point in time, having eighth grade education or high school education, that was enough. That was enough. But then, too many oh no, we gotta move this, we gotta move this
Gotta pull
barometer.
back some.
And then you say, okay, well, let's get that 40 acres and a mule. Oh, well, you got a home, but you in debt your whole life for this home and you paying off that home. So you really can't achieve the generational aspect of that.
Blessing.
I mean, it's just it's like every single time. So that's where it's kind of like, how do we either dismantle these systems or create our own? I was watching this great, it was a conference, and they were talking about, what do you need to have a self-sustaining community? Like, you don't need external or anything like that. You need your economic base, your banking, your school, your food. There are certain things you need. And so it's kind of like, how do we do this? How do we do this?
Yes, ma'am.
But anyways, let me hold on. I can't, my hold on, my internet's still here. But
Okay,
yeah,
I got you.
so Jades,
I know what
Quick
that was,
question.
but go ahead.
Yeah, quick question. No, I was trying to like, yeah. Look, I'm on my phone.
Go ahead. You good?
But no, quick question though to you is, what are some small things
Hmm.
you feel you've done or will do in the coming weeks for your mental health or for other brothers in your life?
So I'll start with other brothers in my life. I just want to acknowledge that Miss Teresa Minus is also, you all add her to the prayer list as well. She's dealing with her and Toya. This month is very interesting for Teresa's Mama Java named last week. And so keep her in prayer as well. And Beaver is sending loves. They are going back and forth praying for another one. They had the same need that they are help meeting somebody else's and then praying for each other. So I just wanted to mention that. I guess I'll start with that prayer. I sat
Yeah.
and watched the mother the other day, and when I tell you I prayed to Jesus like I ain't really prayed Jesus earnestly, in well, I ain't gonna lie, but I it really just hit me. So prayer is definitely a thing that I've been doing. The other actionable thing to little small things like wear black. The other thing, as far as self-care, is I checked in on my brothers. I
Mm.
checked in and, hey, I also sent a song and I'm going to recommend, and I don't know if I sent it to you, Dr. Brandy, but there's a song by the brother of the name of Tim, and I'll type it here. Tim Bowman Jr., called I'm Good. And he names, I'm good. I have the right to raise my kids. I have a right to get that job. And it just really, I found myself in the kitchen yesterday, like just dancing.
Mm.
And so being intentional about Black joy. The other thing that I'm doing is Coach Meg from MGH, and you would love this episode. And you're probably familiar with this thing of integration,
Mm.
meaning that we integrate the things that typically stress us in our life that we know toward the end of our lifetime they might change. We're talking about police reform in that context, that we know aren't going to change right away. And so rather than approaching it with the fight, we integrate it as a reality.
Mm.
Fought with
Yeah.
I fought with it, Dr. B, because
Mhm.
does integration mean acceptance? But I often say it is what it is. We accept
Yes.
that racism. So I'm being intentional about integrating the it is what it isness in a manner that it doesn't stress me out as much. I name it.
Mhm.
Depending on what it is, it might, what the old folks used to say, it might fester in my head for a little bit. But then I'm
Mhm.
intentional about giving it its proper value or not.
Mhm.
And also um assessing, is it in my purview to attempt to influence or impact? You know
Mm.
what I mean? And so that's when we talk about, when I mentioned that I was tired and the 40 years, and then there's some stuff, Dr. Brandy, that comes with this platform that is stressful.
Mhm.
And I know I'm getting some reciprocity from opinion. Somebody emailed me the other day and they said, on this platform, you are open to and should be able to be accessed for opinion and critique. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
Well,
I mean,
to a certain
to a
extent.
certain extent, and I thought
No.
about it this morning. But no, the context in which this,
You can't let all in.
I
Now
know,
you can't,
but
everybody got an opinion. That don't mean I gotta listen to it.
Martin,
Okay.
Martin Luther
You
said
look,
in his interview, they're like a butthole. Everybody got, did he say,
look, we can be selective.
we
That
can,
being said, you do want to have differing opinions
yeah, yeah,
around you
yeah,
so
yeah.
that but so you're not in an echo chamber, but still. But
I
yeah, I hear what you're saying about that that
it's a lot.
integration.
The integration is
Hmm.
definitely real. And so that's
Yeah.
what I do, Dr. B, to, try to induce Black joy. I've been watching a lot of Wild 'N Out. I started watching You People last night, and I started watching it late. And so you're used to Eddie Murphy in one way. And so I was kind of waiting for some stuff, and then it was coming and I found myself laughing. But I've been watching comedy.
Mm.
I meal prepped yesterday. For me, cooking is cathartic. And so the preparation, beating myself, and I'll chop this up and I'll get it done before this. And so, those are some of the things that I'm doing to be intentional. And then I'll go back on the thing that you all usually get me about is trying to inform and influence policy. One of the things that is stressful is the balance of the attention that's given to the national issues, Dr. B. And then we had the 16-year-old. Well, the police have not officially released the age, but I did get confirmation from a city official that it was a teen. And so, you know, it trying to still influence policy is cathartic for me. If I can get some gains and some wins, and it doesn't happen overnight. I was telling someone earlier this morning that change doesn't happen. We didn't get here overnight, and we're not going to change overnight. It does not mean that we fight. It does not mean that we don't fight, but I believe we need to begin to change and constantly update the strategy based on the latest information we get around data, around impact, around who's in influence in offices and in cabinet and department level positions. And so it's multifaceted, in which I try to keep myself together. I'm fighting for flights. I'm just going to keep that 100 because
look, I already bought a flight. I'm just gonna keep it on 100. So,
I'm glad I didn't sip, because I would have lost my mixer board. I would have lost the keyboard.
Look, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm heading out in March. I'm looking to be heading out in April, and then again in July. Yeah. Well, I think
if y'all know Dr. Brandy, there was so much in that little set.
You already know, James.
Yes,
you already know. You already know. Look, self-care has to be intentional. And we can't, for me, because I've grown so tired of seeing the thoughts and prayers every other, like, I need to find ways to still get back to center. And I do self-reflection a lot, probably once, twice, sometimes 3 times a week. But even then, sometimes I need to remove myself and be in a completely different environment, not thinking about work or the other demands, and just be.
And just be. That is,
and just be.
And that is the thing that is so interesting. And I know we're getting ready to wrap up, but that's the thing about the quality of life is that's all any marginalized community wants. I would even venture as much to say that, and folks might get me for this, but it may not even be acceptance.
Just leave me alone, Lord.
It may not even be acceptance. You don't have to accept me. But what you do is at the center of, and when you say get back to center, at the center of who we are, Black, white, cop, civilian, straight, gay, trans, Christian, and I'm going to take because there's this little buzz about the Church of Satan coming to Boston and whatnot. Christian, devil worshiper, at the essence of what we have in common is that we are human beings. And when you talk about getting to center, if that becomes the underlining factor, we can get to what I was getting ready to say. What all of this is about, Dr. B, is just being able to live and be in your authentic self, as long as you are not hurting yourself or anyone else, in fact, and not by opinion or bias.
Well, if we could all just drink water and mind our business, but it gets back to, that's the system. You have to create division. Otherwise, how do you keep the system going? Keep people focused on the isms So you so you aren't seeing the puppet strings and like, keep people focused on that. Keep people mad about it. Keep them frustrated about it.
Can we, when you talk about the isms and systems and structures, let's just talk about some isms and structures since the unveiling of the embrace. There's a whole lot there.
Look, I can't even.
We are not.
Look, the only argument I got into about the embrace was, does it still mean you should go visit Atlanta first? That's the only,
that argument happened right here.
And that's the one we had too. But I had it before we had it. Was like, okay, you should go to Atlanta, then DC, then Boston, then come back down to Atlanta and go to like Montgomery and Alabama and, you know, visit like a bunch of different sites. But anyways, look, I'm not about to.
I brought it up because when you said divisiveness, here's what.
Yeah, and that's what you do is you focus. Like, the thing is, it's about how do you keep folks focused on the outside stuff. How do you do that? Peripheral. It's anything. How do you keep folks focused on the peripheral, on the outside? That's how. That's literally how.
And we succumb by our, and I say we succumb by our conditioning of what? The system. Yeah. And so ignorance is bliss.
It really can
awareness is stressful AF. And what I mean is the knowledge of this and seeing it play out, Dr. B, is hurtful. It's discouraging, and it is also a good evaluator, because if you're really committed to system and equity, you got to sit back and do some self-examination of your contribution, of my contribution, of my perpetuating systems and structures. And right now, I'm not just talking about, well, maybe I am. I'm getting this in real time. A lot of the systems and structures that we perpetuate within the Black community are indeed imposed and induced with some intentionality of outer structures.
Yeah.
But the knowledge of, and we've been woke. We've been aware.
Stop with that. The woke label. We waking up. We ain't woke. we waking up. We still got slobber. We still got a crease and indent on the side of our face. You know, we still opening our eyes. It's still blurry sometimes. It's still blurry, right? It's still doing that. And we going, like, I think the embrace was an example of, we're at the sink and we're washing our face, right? So like, we looked, it was blurry. We looked down, wash our face. What do we see different? Is the water still, distorting our eyes? Are we, and then we're like, ooh, I washed my face, but my breath stank. So it's like this constant thing is like, we're not woke, or whatever the label.
You're going to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble, Jesus.
I know. But it's a good thing that I don't be Karen or reading. It's a good thing.
I don't be Karen.
I don't be Karen. In a lot, I don't be Karen, Karen, and I don't be caring.
Because we got some Karens amongst us. Oh my God.
But no, I mean that in a real sense of like, if we really play this term out, the wokeness and everything like that, then that would mean that, I always look at it woke as like a community kind of term. And I don't think there is a community wokeness or evolution. There can't
be, because there's 50,000 definitions of what woke is.
That's your level of woke. So before people come for me too hard, that's what I mean in that sense. Is like, I love to see individuals succeeding. Like, oh my God, I love it. Like when people like, yo, I just graduated, or, my business did this, or, I'm here this weekend, or I'm doing that. I took a month off. Like, go ahead, right? Like, I love that. But are we doing that as a community? Are we moving in that space as a community? Like, I say it to my friends all the time, is I'm like, it's great that I got a job and all of this stuff, but like, I want to be on the island with folk. Like, I don't want to be, I want to, like, I don't want to jet to Mexico and be like, "Ooh, I went to like what?" I want to be like, you know what? Everybody, let's get on this plane. Let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I
And
mean.
can I say this?
In the wokeness.
And
That's
can
it.
you be able, and I don't want to lose the point or the conclusion around the wokeness. I do agree that until we all, what is the exact saying? If there's injustice anywhere.
Yeah.
So, and I also have to name that we have to, when you said you celebrate success, we have to consider, do we have those among us? I'm going to take it to the scripture on two levels. Do we have those among us that think more highly of themselves than they should? Yes, we do. Do we have the poor that will be with us always? And so there is biblical justification on the spectrum
Oh,
of,
there's some chatter.
you get out the chatter. There is some biblical foundation for the spectrum of our level of success in our community. And I just want to say, and let me just set context. I've been thinking about this before the appearance to some that I've arrived or whatever, is that we also need to be able to celebrate the success of black and brown, of black people, and not have them feel guilty
about the success.
And those people, I'll speak for me. The more successful I become, the more I reach back. And our reach back ain't public. And so when you talk, I needed to name that when you talk about you celebrating the success and when you talk about divisiveness and whatnot, because in the conversation about embrace, who was told, who wasn't invited, who went to the gala, who didn't go to the gala, and all of that. There is.
I'll tell you what.
But I'm going to say something that some people that, were really strong, that it was separatist and all of that. I'm going to say something. You said until we all. So, was everybody able to afford the ticket? Was everybody able to? I'm not going to get into the semantics.
No.
But in the essence of.
And that's just what it was. No.
And I don't want to get into this. Yeah,
no.
No,
and then you got to think about transportation there and all this, like parking, blah, 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 blah.
You don't already said they ain't woke. You already said they ain't woke. We don't want you walking out.
Look, I'm just saying, but I mean this in a real community sense. Is like as we talk about, uplifting Tyree and being a community around this, is what does community mean as we move forward? And what does it mean? What does it look like as a community to say, you know what, we want to see X happen as a result of this, or we don't ever want to see Y happen as a result of that? What does that mean? Is that, solidarity, wearing colors? Is it, peaceful protests? Is it some piece of legislation? Is it all, like what does that look like? And so that's kind of like I guess the space I'm in. This I think I'm gonna carry this week. Last week I was in a circle, and I said that was my word. This week it's a hexagon. My word.
Emphasize
a hexagon.
A hexagon.
A hexagon, okay? Because it's six-sided. You think you have space, but there's still those jagged edges, right? It's still encapsulating. It's not a circle. It's not a loop, right? So I am moving in different directions, but it's still confined. Because
a circle, at least there's some repetitivism. And the hexagon, remember the old original video games, the ping pong?
Yes.
Bouncing off a corner versus bouncing off one of the walls is a whole different experience.
Yes. So that's why I said this week's word, hexagon.
but you're coming out of the cyclical and going into new spaces.
Yes, I'm going into new spaces, but I'm still feeling confined a bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Because in the circle, in the hexagon you're in, you need to be on a line
mhm,
or a swirly. You need to
mhm.
come up off the paper. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I felt that. Just
I'm telling you, like,
message. It is,
yeah.
Dr. Brandy, we
Hold
got.
on, what? Let me see what people saying in this
Oh,
con. So
I don't pay
somebody
attention
said,
to the
oh
comments because
my,
we'll
I
totally off.
understand this convo. I agree. Mm. And then our last comment, Kathy, is like, how can we stop this from happening before yet again another tragic death? Whether it's an officer or youth taking a life, how can we spot these warning signs and take the right action? How can we change the systems?
And Teresa also said, what good is it for me to do well, but everyone around me is struggling? I've never understood that concept. And it kind of goes to Kenya's point that she made above. And Shayna, I seen this. Trust me, sis. It's in my spirit, trust me. I want to be in,
Like I'm saying,
I want to
we
be in a
need to be
place.
in a
Trust me.
studio
We're
recording.
praying and working on it. Lord Jesus, let me get to Kenya's point. Kenya said here when we were talking about the success of folks, and I can't find it. Recommend practice. So I thought it was Kenya. Hold on. Oh,
Ah,
it was Heidi. It was Heidi.
Heidi.
Oh
Yeah.
my, I understand this convo. Success also breeds issues with folks who we thought were with us. And so, that is the old saying,
Everybody
all
can go
skin,
with you.
all skin ain't kin. And then
Yeah.
also don't
Mm.
forget from whence you came.
Yes.
That is one.
Everybody ain't ready to go with you, but that does not mean that you don't attempt to try.
To
It was
be
something Rick Ross said, is he said, you know what I had to do with my homeboys? Because again, they didn't understand until they were immersed in it. Because again, if you're here and you're just struggling to get by, you may not understand your homeboy who has now made it. So what he said he did was he said to every single one of his friends, every one of y'all, I'll pay for you to go get a business degree so that you can join and be part of this and actually understand. Because again, we have to understand that some jealousy, envy, those things happen, but we have to understand from whence it comes from, right? Right? From whence it comes from.
Let's just name two things with that, Dr. Brandy. You don't know
You don't know.
anybody that's been tapped in the Java with Jimmy and didn't know me pre 2020. And let's talk about 2020 because what y'all see now, Java with and Jimmy didn't start out like this and all this going places and in rooms and all this. So let's just name that. But you don't know how many times I had to land on my success did not come overnight. And let's just name, I'm not even comfortable saying success because I know I haven't arrived yet. But
Yeah.
we got to understand two things that we don't know. One is we don't know people's struggle. You see an outward appearance. You don't know what they go home to in the present, and you don't know what they dealt with to get there. The other thing is, and I have to name this when I just said that sometimes, people don't forget, people forget from where they came and they don't reach back. As I said before, need to reiterate, we also have to give grace to the folks that we don't know what checks they writing. We don't know what, because a lot of that goes on in the background and they do what?
Yeah.
They remain anonymous. And so I
Yeah.
just
Because you
got
don't always have to
out there.
put it on
And
Facebook for it to exist, people.
Quincy
But
said
what is
what
that?
is
Like what
success?
does success
It's
mean
defined.
to you? Like what is success to you or to another person? And again, how do we support each other through the success? Like how do we allow each other to fall and fail, because failure is part of the process,
Yep.
right? You fail forward, fall forward. But how do we really be happy for our friends and our loved ones and others that are succeeding as we're still like on the bench, like, okay, when's gonna be my turn? And I think that's just part of the process, is in terms of how do you really appreciate and celebrate those around you, and how do you get from this crabs in a barrel system, because again, that's a system. You keep people fighting against each other, so that they don't succeed as a group, right? You know, you have folks trying to tear each other down so that, again, the group does not rise. Because if the group rose, listen.
And that's the whole point. And
listen.
You don't, oh God, because this convicts me as I'm saying it. I have to go back and think about some of the things I've said and about to now. Some of my stuff around policy and how people have had consistent movement, valid. But there's only a few times where I have personally attacked some folks based on my observation of their consistent policy that doesn't agree and move toward an equitable quality of life for Black people. Let me just set that context. But we have to be willing to accept our own responsibility and work toward our own success. But I think for me, and you're naming as well, if we aren't in mind and it's just that does not help us, because it becomes about just an individual. Now let's also name, I'll take myself as an example. Mm-hmm. Content creation, putting up reels of going to eat. I'm a foodie. I was a foodie before Java with Jimmy, but I also understand my business. And as a content creator, certain reels get certain hits. It bumps your social media things up. So then when the people come and say, hey, we want to sponsor you, I got the numbers to prove it. And so you got to also understand that success comes in different ways. My point there was, I know what I'm doing to appear as a success individually, but that's with intention to do what I need to do to get them checks to reach back, to do the gift cards again, to do the health fairs, to give out, to sponsor. I ain't going to say the who, whatever, but was able to go, struggling as a business, but was able to go to write a check for an event for some young people that are so.
And I still ain't got a mug. I tell you what.
I'm just gonna
look, I gotta add some levity there. We was going deep. Like I was like, Lord, we taking up collections all day, every day. But it's real though. And I think,
wait a minute, you do have a mug. You didn't get a mug from the first didn't I tell you that?
That's a 2-year-old mug.
Oh.
I want the updated mug. Okay. That's a 2-year-old mug. Yeah, exactly. See that sparkles and stuff. I got this old that like it's one color, James. I got a 1-color mug. Okay. So yeah, sponsor me a mug.
I'm not gonna be able to sponsor anything if I spit up on this keyboard and mix it, Jesus. Woo. No, it you know, in this joking, we are being very serious. And I what you call it? Shayna said, get the doctor a mug.
Right?
We have to do this in a sense.
I don't even understand.
I'm trying to move on.
I don't even understand. James he going international, national, y'all. National.
We thank Dr. Brandy for being in the room this morning. Please know I always got that in Jesus.
But we're doing this because you gotta have Black joy.
You gotta have
because that's the thing is this week I know we're gonna see on the news over and over and over again this incident until there's another national incident to replace it. Maybe some other classified documents or something, But until then, this incident's going to be replayed over and over and over again. And so we got to find ways to have joy in all of this. We got to find ways to smile, ways to come together, ways to think about and strategize and plan, because so many of us are like, dang it, if I don't want to say another thoughts and prayers. And so we got to have that joy. And so for me, joking with James this morning is a way to start my day with joy. And another thing too is to also be mindful about how I schedule my time today and tomorrow. Because I knew going into this week it was going to be heavy. So I made sure.
It's proactive. When you get a chance, watch that episode with Dr. Meg, because we talked about scheduling, we talked about integration, but I now am getting better thanks to Tay and Rachel, to where I'm looking at the next week like the week before, mentally preparing. What can I do this week to get ready? Because preparation decreases anxiety. I'm a last minute, get it done in the last, it's going to get done and nobody will know. It's going to look wonderful, but you don't know that it happened 6 hours before. Oh, shoot. I just remembered I got a document to.
See, look, but in the same ways that we have to, celebrate, we also have to make sure we create space and grace to have celebration too.
Yeah.
Because one thing you brought up a lot today was about the guilt, and so, a lot of times you might think, my God, another teenager struck down too soon. Can I be joyous in this moment? Can I still have joy as a family's grieving, as a family's lost another loved one? Like, and so that's the thing
Hard
too, is how do we give ourselves grace and the space to grieve, to be angry, to be sad, but also have those moments of joy?
You're right. I want to share this before we go on, Dr. Brandy, and go back on the comments. I can just send it to you. Go back on I'll send you the link, but there's this whole thing I've been promoting on my timeline from this brother named ST Bullock that talks about, and I hope it shouldn't play. I didn't cue it to play, so it should. Where is it? Okay, here it goes. I want to get to the whole thing there. I'm going to put this link in the comments because ST did a whole movement, Good Grief. There we go. There's Good Grief. And then I need the link to the playlist. And so, oh, Jesus. Dr. Brandy, hold on. Here we go. I can't see y'all. So, all right, there. I'm back to the regular screen. So I'm going to put this in the comments, y'all. Go click this link. It's to a YouTube playlist called Good Grief by ST Bullock. Dr. Brandy, there's a song on there called Your Couch. And there's a song on there called Let It Out. There's a song on there called Accept It. There's a song on there called Roller Coaster. Dr. B, when we get ready,
is it like R&B? Is it
it's he's a Christian writer. He's wrote
so is it like gospel?
He said it's not gospel and it's not a church album. You hear his reflection of Christ, and I mean that's just who he is. But he talks about
trap.
It's not trap. It's really it's a feel good. It's music meets mental health. And so Let It Go is going to sit there. It's a nice beat, but when you start learning a song and you singing the words to yourself, you're going to be like, ooh. Accept It talks about grief not being just to deaths, COVID, violence and whatnot, but grief of a breakup, and talks about how you respond to it. And the Roller Coaster talks about edibles and wanting to take the pills. And like, I mean, this brother, Brandy, when I tell you,
I'll have to get at a listen later on when I'm
I've already had people
writing this report. Jesus,
put it on
with no internet.
God. Oh, Jesus. Put it on in the background because it will bless you. I just want to finish up with comments to make sure there's no particular needs. People need to stop measuring success by things, jobs, money. Stop measuring success by your character. Ooh. And people rely and can you keep your are you making sure you pour everything? I can't even finish the statement. Listen.
Yeah, I feel I definitely feel that as someone who's lost everything literally and figuratively. I feel that you can't measure it by the thing, the call, the whatever, like, because you ain't taking it with you.
But the other thing is, an appearance of something may not be what reality is, and social media has. And I'm
it's distorted everything.
It's a little bit of my bread and butter, but I do it with. And the other balance of that is there's some stuff, Brandy, I don't post because I don't want to get the pushback.
Yeah, but James, that's social media is distorted things so much.
I know.
So much. I think we need to do a show on that. Like
social media
about social media.
A psychiatrist, a social media expert, like a MIT doctorate level, and a young person and a senior.
Yeah, social media done Yeah, it done distorted
Social
things.
media has picked up where the legacy media has left off. Now it's just quicker, in real time, and more pronounced.
Yeah, which may not be a good thing,
Uh,
but
That's why I said it. It's just
anyway,
like
oh, do we still have viewers? Because you'd be like,
we still
Brandy.
got viewers because most
Girl.
they did well. The usual 935, 940.
Oh, okay. Because what if
We hit about
we
we
must have
went back up.
actually been talking about something that people wanted
Oh,
to,
they came in
because
4
you'd be
minutes
like,
today.
it's 9:37. We gotta wrap up.
I was
People
looking.
done logging
It was not.
off.
It was 940. They was dropping off, but some came back in, and then some. I don't know. That's a whole nother convo in itself. But we gonna get this
Right?
building, and we gonna be able to have a live audience. And when we get ready to wrap up, thank you for coming today, everybody. Put your hands together as we get
Yeah.
ready to go.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for this space. Thank y'all. No, seriously,
It's
thank y'all
coming.
for this
It's
space.
coming.
Thank
Thank you,
y'all for
Dr. Brandy.
sharing. Always coming with the comments. And thank y'all for validating that I do need a new mug. And all right, James. All right.
We got look. I'm driving now, so
All right.
we're gonna have to get the mug and drop it off.
And hold on, let me just. Coco would like to say hello
Hi,
to
Coco.
everybody. She'd like to say
Hi,
hello,
Coco.
and she's wearing her.
Oh, she got converted.
Yeah. Well.
You're a Celtics fan. It's
mean,
the Patriots you don't work with.
They actually winning, so I figured like we gotta support.
And let me tell you one thing about Boston fans. It's a little shaky with the Patriots right now. I wonder.
We gotta support.
Boston is some committed fans. Win or lose, we can support our teams. Ma, thank you very much. And she's also saying hi to Coco. All right, y'all. It's 10-10. We don't win. Brandy, they stayed in and we went a little.
I know. We didn't stay in. Thank y'all so much. Bye. Say bye, Coco.
Mug or hands on Gretel have.
Say bye. We don't do the licking now. Like this is a black household. We don't do no licking.
What are you talking about? What happened? What I missed?
No, she was trying to lick my hand. I was like, we don't do the licking now.
You don't let your dog lick your hand?
Yeah, she was trying to.
You don't let her do it?
Oh. Look, I'll tell anybody. So when we go outside, right? When we go outside,
when the dog comes up, you don't let her.
No. Let me tell you. When we go outside, Coco be in the dirt, the mud, all that other stuff. When we come inside, the first thing that happens is a wipe to her feet. We don't do that. Yeah, Just like when I come inside, I take my shoes off at the door. Well, she can't do that. So we go wipe the feet. This is a black household. We are not doing that.
I can understand face and lips, but the dog doesn't lick your hand.
You need to wash your hands.
After the dog licks your hand, but you don't let Coco come up.
Yeah, okay. She, occasionally I might let her, but
Coco gets to lick your hand on your birthday and Christmas. Dr. Brandy, I just listen. Oh my God.
Look, this is a black household. What you talking about? Folks be like, I let my dog get off my plate.
Now, see, I'm not.
No. Like, see, that's how stuff get transmitted from pets to you. No.
You ain't going to.
Not in this house.
You ain't going to have no Coco virus. No Coco.
When I read, look, you should have seen me, James, when they talked about, I don't even know when it came out, but they were like, pets can get COVID too. I was like, oh no.
Coco in another room.
I was like, oh no.
Pets were for you like it was for me with children. The first 6 or 8 months, the children were demons to me. I was like, y'all are
because I got Coco that August. I was like, oh, dogs can get it too. Oh no.
You got Coco during COVID?
Look, yes. Well, no, was it? Yeah. It was during COVID. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, but So she is fully vaccinated because of all the fumes.
Wait a minute, there was a vaccination for the dog?
No, but because of other remedies.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, it listen.
Look,
Uh-oh.
yo,
Y'all said it, down the rabbit hole we go.
I know, y'all. She was, you know, when she started sneezing, I was like, oh no, oh no. Oh no, oh no, the devil is a lie. Oh no, and the truth ain't in this household.
So if I'm just really surprised because that is one of the things that a dog lover, like they come in, they lick your hand and whatnot.
Yeah, that's all good and well. I love my dog.
Okay, well, we're gonna she said Dr. B made a holistic vaccine.
Yeah, I did.
All right, Dr. B. Look. They starting to drop off now. They're like, y'all are bugged.
Yeah, okay, let's log off,
this
y'all.
Black Joy. And Dr. B, thank you. And we'll figure out next week. Lord have mercy. We can, because Dr. B put some planning into January, February, March, and it just,
and
but
it just
hopefully
all
next week,
we
can get back to something. And
Black History Month, y'all. Let's
Black
go.
History Month. Black History Month, yes. And we'll talk about this later. Last couple of years, Black History Month ain't been what it used to be. And so I think we need to acknowledge it, but it's not what it used to be. But wait till you see what we're doing in March for Women's History Month.
Let's go.
It's going to be it. All right, Dr. B. Love you.
Love you too. Bye, y'all.
In touch. All right, y'all. That was one of our most interactive and fun sessions with Dr. B. I'm tired. And so I'm looking very nice. So wearing all black, I've realized, really messes up with the auto white balance of the camera and all that. Okay, anyway, I'm messing. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'm tired. I'm going to take a quick cat nap and start my day. And that is it. Be intentional about your Black joy. There was a song that I posted Friday or Saturday that talks about I'm Good by Tim. Yes, Teresa, I am going to eat. I did food prep last night. Have a great day. You too, Dina. Kathy, have a great day. Nope. Sharon, Black History Month is not like it used to be. Be intentional about your joy, period. And I said at Thaddeus's event, you can celebrate Black joy and not be Black. And so celebrate it, celebrate your own joy. And check in on your friends. Also check in on allies, because allies have a different from, I'm just going to name some stuff from what people have named as white guilt, awareness and understanding of what ancestors have done. And so you got somebody that's an ally close to you, just check in. And some will try to beat me up for that. But when you talk about equity and humanity, we know that Black folks are more disproportionately impacted by the lack of equity and humaneness, but just felt to say that. All right, folks, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And remember your mental health. Remember to be intentional about maintaining your mental wellness. And if it's not well, reach out and talk to somebody. All right, have a good day, y'all.